Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here in the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Chris Halicke here. We're going to break down a game from the 2023 season, which I know sounds a little weird because, we're going a little further back. That's not the most recent body of work, but we're going to look at Broderick Jones and his work at left tackle. And you have to go back quite a ways. Now, he did log 7 snaps at left tackle in 2024, but that was at the very, very end of the loss to the Chiefs on Christmas Day, and that was, after watching those 7 snaps, that's not a really good way to judge Broderick Jones, because there were some times where Chiefs weren't even rushing, because by that point the game was over. They're up by 19. There's no way the Steelers are going to come back with less than 2 minutes to go, so it's just not worth it. So let's go back to 2023, Week 5, facing the Ravens. And let's take a look at some of the things that Broderick Jones did well. One thing he did well, he only allowed 1 pressure in this game. And we will look at that here in a second. But it's not like he didn't face some good talent. He, right here, this is a rep against Jadeveon Clowney. And one thing about Broderick Jones is he is very quick to get out of his stance quite a bit. You can see that back foot, it's almost moving prior to the snap, but NFL does allow tackles to do this nowadays. But the footwork here is pretty decent. It's not amazing. It's not bad. The one thing you don't want to ever see Broderick Jones do, and this is what he needs to clean up, this stance right here. He is way too narrow there. Way, way too narrow. The one thing that Broderick Jones does here that really helps really well, and it's something he doesn't do consistently enough, and again, this is from his rookie year, but we also didn't see much improvement in 2024 on this either, so this is some of the stuff you want to watch for. When he is more aggressive with his hands, and it's a shrewd aggressiveness. It's not, it's being shrewdly aggressive. It's not being overly aggressive where you're either hit or miss on your block. But when you get to this point, like right here, be the one to attack. Use your length against them. And he does that here. He's the one to initiate contact. He immediately drives the edge rusher back. That's Clowney that he's facing. And you can see he kind of stonewalls him there. And even though, the rip tries, Jones is already using his feet to continue to stay in front of him. The footwork here, after getting to this point right here, the good thing is that he gets from there to a wider base a lot, pretty quickly. Yeah, that's yeah, that's pretty good right there. Okay. But again, the main thing I'm watching here is this right here. It's that being the one to initiate. And when you do that, it makes you in control of what happens from there on, because then he's going to try to win again. You stay in front of him. Okay, he tries this, this kind of spin a little bit to the inside, and you're able to just mirror him and stay in front of him. And that gives, Kenny Pickett the time he needs to throw. Why he doesn't see this right away, I have no idea. Or maybe throw this inside to Pickens. What's Pickens running here? Oh, Pickens is running a. Okay, this is definitely mesh. Remember mesh concept? We talked about this. You got this going this way, but if it's against zone, you're gonna sit down. Come on, like, how do you not throw that right there? Yeah, he eventually throws it, but yeah, okay. But no, we're looking at Broderick Jones here, not criticizing Kenny Pickett. Yeah, this is a good rep. This is a good pass pro rep. He stays in front. This is more than long enough. Again, wins initially, stays with him, mirrors him, keeps him walled off. This is a great pass pro rep. This is a great pass pro rep, for sure. All right. Move on. Another thing about Broderick Jones coming out of college that he was really good at was he recognized stunts and twists pretty quickly. That was something that not only it's recognizing them, but being able to take them on and being able to, handle them. And, this is Isaac Seumalo next to him, who's, a veteran. And again, look how quick he is out of a stance. I mean, the ball is being snapped there, and he's already up out of his stance. He's facing Kyle Van Noy here, another, very accomplished edge rusher. He's already in this set. For those who watched the Chalk Talk I did on Troy Fautanu, it's being at this point right here and being, ready to take him on. And then once he sees that he cuts to the inside, it's like as soon as this step, he already recognizes this. As soon as that step happens, he already turns and looks at Matt Williamson right there. And Seumalo, again, he's recognizing it. He shoves him over in that direction. And then Jones takes him on. Again, how quickly can you go to this, take this on, reset your feet? Nice wide base there. Look how wide apart the feet are. This is Matt Williamson. Like, this is a good interior defender here. Good job by Seumalo for picking that up too. That's a great job by both guys picking up that twist there. And again, Broderick Jones, it's not just how quickly he saw it. It's seeing it and then it's still executing it. You can see something quickly, but how quickly or how well can you also execute it? And here, same thing. You have this guy. I obviously can't see the number yet. This is Clowney again. Clowney, and this, those first two steps, 1-2 steps. It's not until there you kind of see that this is a move to the inside. And again, another thing that you can do when you are going to, even though he is moving to the inside and you can tell that this is a stunt, one of the things that Jones can do is he can shove him over, so that makes it easier for Seumalo to pick him up, and then by the time this guy comes around, you can already be set to take him on and already have your eyes open, eyes up, ready, and, be prepared. Again, it's a good rep. It's not as clean, because he is starting to kind of get around him. But again, this is where athleticism and length and size help make up for maybe not being right on top of it. This is still a good rep. Good rep. It's just not completed to Calvin Austin down the sideline. Broderick Jones, though, let's look at a run block here. And this, again, goes to show the athleticism, the power. He's got quite a bit of it, and he was definitely more controlled and more polished as a run blocker coming out of college. And the Steelers are running wide zone in this direction right here. And you're going to see Jones get all the way over and get a reach block on this, and he does it with almost no help. I would hardly call this a lot of help from Seumalo there, but he gets all the way over on 97 and gets to that reach block. That's not easy to do. That's not easy. And this honestly should be a better run because, again, it's this one. This is the rep that loses the entire run. Of course, Najee could have completely cut this back to the other side, but I also understand because Jones gets the leverage on this side, so he gets inside leverage on him. So you want to stay and run behind that leverage. If Cole blocks this off, this is good in this direction, most likely because Seumalo could possibly get up there. But, yeah, it's not great. But Jones, again, we're looking at Jones. How quickly he gets up out of his stance and gets over. He gets over there in 1, 2, 3, and he's there. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do. Because, again, with wide zone, you want to be able to wall this off to create some sort of cutback lane in case this is not open. And Jones does his job. Absolutely does his job. He's when he executes run blocks, man, they are it's well done. Run blocking, I'm not as concerned about Broderick Jones. Whether the run goes to his side, or if he's trying to get a reach block and he's defending the backside of the play, I'm not as worried about that. All right, let's take a look at the one pressure he allowed in this game and see what went wrong. Now let's remember some of the things that we saw already in that first rep. He was aggressive. He was the first one to make contact. And that then put him in control, right? The footwork, even though it got narrow there for a second, got wide, really quickly after that. So let's see what happens here. Okay, gets up out of the stance. He's a little too tall. You don't ever want to see this. He's a little too tall. That's one issue. That's one issue there. And the footwork is a little more clunky this time. It's not as crisp. He's way too tall. This is too tall of a stance. And then by the time he goes to initiate contact, he's too late. Clowney's the one who's going to be the one to initiate contact. That makes it slow, and then Clowney just gets right past him because of it. So, some shoddy footwork, too tall out of the stance, wasn't the first one to initiate contact. It's not a clean rep from Jones. And, this is where Kenny's, little spin out of the pocket and going that way actually ends up working out. But that's when it's supposed to work out. When you have a guy literally crashing right in on you, and then you can have this ability to just spin out. That's when you want it to work. And they get a completion out of it, so it ends up being fine. But yeah, he's too tall out of a stance. You never want to be this upright. A little bit more knee bend. The knee bend kind of gets there, but again, it's too late. You have to be ready in case this guy goes for a straight-up bull rush. And I've got Lance Zierlein's strengths and weaknesses pulled up from whenever he was coming out of college. Let's go through these, okay? Less than 2 full seasons of starting experience at left tackle. Okay. We knew that, so we knew he was raw. Needs to keep his chin tucked and back flat in protection. Okay, well, backs, punch comes from outside angles and is slow to stick the rusher. Slow to stick the rusher. That's definitely that right there. I mean, you never want to kind of do this little thing that he does with his arm. That's never a position of strength. Left hand is fine here. Right hand is not. And it ends up being one of the reasons why he loses this rep. Gives early ground when challenged by power rush. And, I mean, he just flat out gets beat there. But again, you got to be in a posture that helps you helps you attack that and helps you defend against it. A couple of here it doesn't fit up run blocks in one fluid motion. That's pretty much the one thing that he did need to work on in run blocking, because everything else is all pass protection and like play strength. Will need to improve his play strength as a pro, and tends to duck head and lose sight into first contact. He can do that, but we didn't see much of that in this game. Like we said, with the stunts and the twists that we saw, he kept his eyes up. He was able to read it, to recognize it. So I think that part of his game has gotten better. I think this kind of stuff has not. This kind of stuff is kind of stagnated, where he's not Again, it's not being overly aggressive where you just, go and attack this guy, no matter what, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. And then you just blow right past him and he's able to get past you. We're not talking about that. We're talking about when you are able to get to this point, are you going to be the one to initiate contact? Are you going to be able to be the one to stick your hands in his chest plate, or you stick your hands on his shoulder, wherever the attack point needs to be? Are you the first one to get there? And that's when you can maximize your size, your strength, your length. I mean, Broderick Jones has all that stuff coming out of college, man. 6'5", 311, 34 3/4 inch arms, 10 5/8 hand size, 10 5/8 inches hand size, like prototypical left tackle here. But also, he was a redshirt sophomore. Young. Raw. Like, room to grow here. And we knew that. Now, it's year 3. So if he would have stayed in college and played for 2 more years, he just now would probably be coming out, right? This would be his rookie year. So instead of staying in college, he's played 2 seasons in the NFL. And 2 seasons in the NFL, despite not making much progress, is better for his development than playing 2 more years at Georgia. So year 3, this is a big year for Broderick Jones. And he said during OTAs that he feels comfortable. It's his natural side. He brought a lot of this stuff up on his own volition. And sometimes I think mentally, again, this game overall, this is just 5 reps from this game. This game overall was a very, very good game for him. 1 pressure allowed, but everything else really solid. Better in run blocking than he was in pass protection. But I mean, you saw 2 where there were stunts against him, and then 1 other one that were well done, very well done. The talent is there. It's absolutely there. It's got to be coached up, but also it's also on the player. This isn't all on the coach to get it done. I'm talking about Pat Meyer, the position coach. The coach plays a role for sure, but the player's also got to be the one to make the changes and to figure things out. And it's a big year for him, for sure. And maybe the mental hurdles of switching to the right side, maybe that's all gone. Maybe that frees him up, and maybe this is going to be what unlocks everything. 2 years of playing primarily the right side, and I don't know. But either way, this is a good game for him. And it's against the Ravens. And he was playing against Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy. Like, some, having to take on Matt Williamson on a twist. These are good defenders he had to face, and he did the job. This was week 5 of his rookie season. I don't know, man. I think he can do it, man. I think he can. The talent's there. That's why they not only drafted him in the first round, but traded up to get him in the first round. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this Chalk Talk. We'll be back tomorrow, not only with another Chalk Talk, but also keep an eye on DKPittsburghSports.com and our Steelers feed for all content coming from OTAs. Second week of OTAs beginning tomorrow. Excited about that. Catch you guys on the flippity flip. We'll see you later.